So, how suffering takes root in our daily life, and what happens when we are suffering. Our goal is to bring an end to this suffering. So, we have been undertaking a journey by which we can reduce and minimize the occurrence of the suffering. You see that it is difficult to peel the unripe banana. And when the banana is ripe, it is easy to peel. So we have been undertaking a journey where the mind should become ripe, mature enough. There should be a mental maturity. Emotional dependence should not dictate us in our life. Outer situation means the outer situations should not dictate my mental state. What is this? This is known as discernment and dispassion. And that journey takes time. You are constantly listening and learning, contemplating and reflecting, and doing the practice. So, what happens over a period of time, you develop a kind of a dispassion from the world. What it means, the outer conditions do not dictate us. I cannot change the outer situations. To some extent, I can bring about a change. But if I'm constantly subjected by the outer conditions in my life, there should definitely be a mental disturbances. And those mental disturbances disturbs the calmness and it causes the suffering. So you are not emotionally dictated by the mind over the issues in the world. You have a sense of emotional freedom. So, because of this, we have undertaken a journey of the self inquiry. Instead, we have developed a passion for the real self. So, passion was there for the external world, and now the passion is there for the real self. The real self cannot be affected, cannot change. It is all pervading that we have understood. So, it is very important to pay attention to these principles. Listening and learning is not like you are learning some theory and you are learning some fiction. It is very important. So if we are understanding or if we are taking this listening and learning weekly sessions as a fiction, oh, it is a theory, let me understand it, it is not going to help us and it might not be helping us. These principles should be applied in our daily life. At least we should minimize our suffering caused by the world and the outer conditions of the world. We have control over the external world, but we do not have total control over the external world. You can well imagine if the AC is not there in Arizona, what will happen? My AC went off of the ground floor. on Wednesday. And the expert said, we are only coming on Sunday. Today it is okay. Should I get affected by the outer situations? That is the notion of a dispassion. And we get upset over small issues. If the honey says something, our sons had said something, or we went to the mall and somebody behaved in a different way, or we wake up in the morning, my mind is overwhelmed with some thoughts. Unless this mind is ripe, mental maturity is there, then only we can discover this real self. That is the whole objective of the self inquiry. I gave the title of these sessions uh, as self inquiry. I have to inquire myself. What we normally think, and on the Google, you find what attracts most of the people. Oh, sit down, close your eyes, get an enlightenment. If it is so easy, why the masters have devoted so much of time? Why the masters have written so many principles? If we are more intelligent and wiser than those people, that's a very subtle nature of our ego that attacks us. Oh, no, just close your eyes and I'm enlightened. I'm awakened. And the next moment, something happens and we get irritated. So I was only thinking at least the sweating should not appear on my face on Thursdays, Saturdays sessions. Everything unpredictable. The world is totally unpredictable. Outer situations are unpredictable. So the outer situation should not impact or dictate in any way my mind. That is what the discernment and dispassion leads us to. It has happened. Did I break the AC myself? No. I have to constantly discern. Oh, let me wait. Okay. Let me see. That has to be very clear in our head. And once we reach to that higher state, nothing, then these principles are gone. The goal of the entire Eastern wisdom is that leads us to end of suffering and awakening to my true nature, that is of the nature of peace and happiness. So there is a struggle between the false I and the real I. So I cannot straight away reach to the higher state. I have to find out how the false I is working in my life, how that emotional dependence is causing me the trouble in relations, in the outer situations, in the people. It's too much, my honey was saying it's too much hot, and she went upstairs. So that was okay. I should have also taken a step, no, lift. David and Jerry and Stephen knows the setup, and I should take up the entire setup upstairs. No, hold on. Hold on. What is that power? The power of endurance. That is also known as austerity and penance. So sometime your honey says some nasty thing, you withdraw yourself. Check the level of your endurance. Your mom and your dad, anything, I have to endure myself. Because it gives the power of dispassion. Simply understanding the dispassion like a fiction will not work. Will not work. I tell you frankly. This journey is the journey of the self-discovery. And that is what we have been understanding and doing. And you simply say that you start with the light, you pick up anything, anytime you are in stress and suffering and anxiety. Oh, let me see what I like, what I dislike. Okay, like and dislike is causing the joy and the sorrow. Then the third level, joy and the sorrow, creates hatred and jealousy. Okay, hatred and jealousy, then the four root weaknesses. Just start contemplating and reflecting in those moments. And you will discover the mind reaches to the mental maturity. And that mental maturity keeps you in the state of the calm in spite of any situation in the world, any difficult situation. Ask yourself, is the mind more powerful than the outer situations? There I can compare and find out dispassion or discernment is there or not. I have to constantly check as a seeker to live my life. Constant. I have to live into that constant of, oh, should I stop doing my professional activities? I'm not saying that. You introduce the dispassion in your professional activities. You introduce the dispassion in your relationship. You introduce the dispassion with reference to the outer situations. And what is that dispassion? We had a passion. We developed a passion for the outer situations and relations. Now we have a passion for the real self. The, the change in direction of the passion is what the dispassion is. We need not to struggle. We need not to fight. I have to discern, become aware, and change the perspective. Why we have so much of passion to the world? Because false eye claims this is real. Nothing is real. Have you seen the news in Johannesburg, where some unknown explosion happens when the hundreds of vehicles were moving? And those vehicles were overturned. So there is a theory that gas pipeline was going under them. A lot of people have hurt and died. Outer life is unpredictable totally. I try to protect myself, but still unwanted situation enters into our life. So when we do not have a mental maturity, we are not prepared. We are not prepared to meet those outer difficult challenges of our life. That is why we have done this self-inquiry. So in the absence of the self-inquiry, likes and dislikes, joy and the sorrow, hatred and the jealousy, they take up. That is why this Narada says that I have to have a deeper understanding of these four root weaknesses. Desire for seeking happiness outside, not possible. Desire, I'm hungry, desire for eating the food is possible. At the physical level, many things can be controlled by desiring. So we are not saying that you stop desire, but you desire with reference to the entire existence. And that will change your perception. So when you reach the highest level of a perception, that is known as the third eye. That is known as the third eye. Third eye it has no physical entity. It is your level of awareness by which you perceive the outer situations. They remain totally objective. And from that objective perspective, you see this situation, I have enough control, I have little control, I do not have a control, so I do not have any control over it. Let me give you an example? I believe you understand. You go to a doctor and doctor says, no, and you tell your symptoms and the doctor says, yes, it is possible. if you take all these precautions, there are do's and don'ts, and here are the pills, and it will. So now you see that. Now you have understood. You follow it. Now, what is unpredictable situation? So second guy goes to the doctor and he tells the symptoms, and the doctor says, "Okay, it's a serious matter." Now we talk of the cancer and other stuff. What happens when we say it is a third stage? How much we have in our control? How much? So there, the dispassion and the discernment will work. You objectify it. So we are not saying don't desire. So desire in a different sense. The desire, so that desire triggers the hesitation in your mind. If we are desiring peace and happiness outside, and that trigger may cause anger or hesitation or emotional dependence or hesitation. What happened? I will call this guy. This company. Why my AC has broken? It will break. Whatever is in the life has to change. I have to accept that. Understand that. So once you live into that state of discernment and dispassion, nothing disturbs you. And then comes once we enjoy, say, I went to a particular restaurant and it has given me a pleasure. So that pleasure thoughts are already there in my mind. So I want to repeat that pleasure. I bet you repeat that pleasure. You go to that restaurant every week or every day. After 7 days, you'll be upset. We don't want to understand it. That is why we have a dispassion. You see that we don't emotional, there is a sense of emotional clinging. And that emotional clinging causes this trigger. So the mind is constantly triggered by going to that restaurant for about a week. Now you have a tongue, you go there, and today food is not good, and then the waiter did not attend you, and you get upset. No, I will not come. So we are constantly dictated by the outer situation and condition. This is the cause of a lot of worries, constant worries. And all the three combined causes the fear. And we have already discussed the fear of the known. Bring those thoughts again. What kind of a fear I have? Fear of the known. We discussed about it. I'm not going there, repeating it again. Fear of the known means there are two aspects. What is yet unknown, I can know it. And what is unknowable? I didn't know when I was born. Did I know that I'm going to meet you guys when I come here? So what is unknowable? Death is unknown. I cannot see myself dead. As long as I am not dead, I'm alive. So we enter into so what it causes the grief, a sense of unease all the time. So I have an unease in my mind and I fight with you. Do you see that? No, don't disturb me. I'm upset. Nobody is disturbing you. You are getting disturbed. Do you see that? You are getting disturbed. So when we are getting disturbed, so there comes another thing we discussed already, hypocrisy. That is also a part of the ego, the false I. So what happens when we have this grief and the hypocrisy? We start harming ourselves. we start harming ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically. We don't care. We don't take care of our physical health. We don't take care of our relationship. We don't take care of our professional work. You see, the entire life is disturbed. And we think, in the presence of all these disturbances, let us sit, close your eyes, and I will reach to the enlightenment. It is not possible. It will lead me to awakening, not possible. You might have seen on Google, a lot of stuff. The master says there are three things which are rare indeed. When found, it is because of the grace of the existence. What are those three things? A human birth. Tiger is continue to eat flesh. Tiger cannot have a choice to think that if I eat vegan, I will be healthy. That is the importance of the human birth. So I have a stress, I should contemplate the way these masters are teaching us. We have tried all the means. We have tried all the means in the world. We have 5 cars, we have 5 houses, and etc. Long list. My suffering has never come to an end. So that is the importance of the human birth. Let me use my. I'm not saying that you believe, blindly believe. Just let me start thinking. When I start thinking, I have a free will to think and free will to choose. So as we continue, we find that by doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting a different result is not possible. Let me follow the Eastern wisdom. So then you have an urge, you have an aspiration, you have an intense desire to follow this path. Once that bubble enters into your head all the time, that is the second grace, that now I have recognized what we normally think in our life, that, okay, look at this, Bill Gates, who divorced his wife, he should have patched up. Not possible, because I'm searching peace and happiness and love outside. It has nothing to do with the Bill Gates. It has to do with repeating the same thing again and again and trying to achieve the result. Not possible. So once we understand that, that brings an urge inside. Again, you see the role of dispassion and discernment. Oh, let me follow this path. This path does not say me that you have to blindly believe. I have to inquire. I have to understand each and every aspect of my life. I have to understand why my mind likes and dislikes, why my mind in one situation with one person gets happiness, in other time, in other situation, becomes unhappy. We all have, because of the human birth, we can think, we can find out, we can reflect on this. And the third grace is that we are learning this Eastern wisdom. We are understanding it. We are understanding it. So once this takes root in your mind, it will only take root in your mind if you have a passion for the self-knowledge. If you have passion for the word, we will attend 1 hour session, couple of weeks, and then We say, okay, I know it is not happening. Why mind says it is not happening? Think of it. Why mind says it is not happening? I'm still attached. I'm still dictated and affected by the outer situations. I'm not examining it. And that has resulted into, so masters have categorized that there are four types of the suffering caused by the other beings, caused by the outer situation. I do not have a control. Let me live into that emotional maturity. Let me endure it. From that endurance, the compassion results. Compassion does not result by thinking, oh, let me become compassionate. And my mind has already a strong likes against, in favor of some person and strong dislikes against some person. Oh, let me have a compassion. So mind will constantly differentiate those two people. There is no compassion. So the master says, last time we have to sorrow caused by the other beings, other situations in our life should be overcome by compassion. It means first, I have to understand, I have to drop my likes and dislikes in the world, and I have to find out I derive sorrow and the joy from the other people and the situations outside. Let me drop it and see what happens. Same example, AC gives me pleasure, obviously, but now it is gone. What should I do? I should have sent an email. No, I'm not doing it because there is no AC. There is a choice. But why shouldn't I turn problem into an opportunity? That is known as the endurance in our life. If we don't have, and this endurance will play a big role in your life. You will not be hesitated if the boss says something. You will not get upset if your honey talks to you in a different way. So you see, all are totally interlinked in our life. Sorrow due to the natural events. Natural events. I told you in Johannesburg, some blast took place. Everything was normal. The vehicles were moving. And those vehicles jumped 10 feet above. One guy saw it and then he saved himself. Unpredictable. So we are searching peace and happiness where everything is unpredictable. Not possible. Not possible. Not possible. Think. We need to think and we have to adopt a particular behavior and attitude towards it. And then sorry due to body, physical affliction and physical diseases. We know what action we have to take. And sorrow due to the sleep of the ignorance. That is the most. Why the master says that these three graces comes from the existence should be there. Because if the three graces are there, I become aware that I'm living in ignorance. Otherwise, the false I has taken such a strong hold in my life that every day we get upset on one thing. Every day we feel tired, we are stressed, we are into anxiety. We carry the burden of the stress on our shoulder. That is the greater ignorance in our life because we don't see the cause of that ignorance. And the reason being that we were born from that ignorance. I didn't know when I was born. I was totally ignorant. Who am I? And then culturally, socially, religiously, I adopted a particular notion of the I. I did not research, I did not find out. That is understood as that I'm still sleeping about myself while living in a waking state, as if I'm just working like a machine. I believe you are getting it what I'm conveying. We just, we get sorrow. What we say, it is a cosmic ignorance. Cosmic ignorance. And Eastern wisdom helps us to get out of that cosmic ignorance. Our next topic is how come this ignorance comes? You said that the false I, okay, there is a false I understand there is a false I. But what causes this false I? Think of it this week. No, this session, and we will take up what causes the false I. Because I was given a choice to deal with the false I. Animals are not given a choice to deal with the false I. That is why they never commit sin. We always commit sin because we are given a choice. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. And find out the most comfortable position of the body. I gave you a sequential overview of what we have done in the last 20 sessions so that we can go ahead. Eyes are closed and body is maintained in the comfort. And check, my friends, I have already repeating it again. If you can easily enter into the comfort zone, it is easy for us to progress faster and deeper. And if it is not, you can find out, only you know it, by sitting in that comfortable position, what is happening. Are you comfortable? So I need not to use the two steps of being comfortable and being carefree again and again. You are already there. Why you are already there? You got that feel. You know what it means by the emotional maturity. You know it. So the body doesn't move now. Because of that mental maturity, I tell you frankly, that is what happens. And then we will continue with the mantra. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You don't study like a fiction, like a theory. You translate the mantra into a higher awareness. Now see how it happens. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham. May there be happiness for all. What I'm saying, I become a contributor of happiness to everyone. Do you see what is cosmic ignorance? I want to extract happiness from the world, from the people, from the relationship outside. That is the false I. I want to contribute happiness to everyone. Now you see. So from where this idea comes, you simply change your thinking pattern and the discernment and dispassion will always be there. Always be there in your life. Why we say happiness is our essential nature. So it is the essential nature of every being on this planet. Hence, I have an obligation to contribute happiness to everyone and endure. You got it. I'm not explaining. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Again, think in that way. Peace is my birthright because it is my essential nature. I'm just giving you those thoughts. If they become your thoughts, then just see what happens. Then, otherwise, the body will continue to move here and there. Then we will claim, this is because of happening. No, it is not happening because of mental immaturity, emotional dependence. Peace is my essential nature. Bring the same thought. Can I be a contributor to the peace? Somewhere I have to adjust, somewhere I have to endure, sometimes I have to tolerate. Find out those situations. So means what? You have a passion for the peace. You don't have a passion for settling the score with other people in the outer environment. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. You attack the false I by saying, thinking in your mind that existence is complete in itself. I'm creation of that existence, so I am complete in myself. I don't need to depend on anything outside to bring that emotional maturity, to drop those likes and dislikes, join this sort. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. So, what happened? The result is auspiciousness. What is that? A grace of the existence is always available to us. Always available to us. Whether you perceive a difficult situation or a welcoming situation in the world. Master is pointing out to recognize that we are not ready because of the false I. Because I translate the outer situation of the world as my situation, as my worries. We are not objective to that. That is one way to see the importance of the mantra. Now we'll go for the meaning reading, looking at the first looking at the forehead. You're aware of the skin, then look inside the skin into the emptiness, and then become aware of a point in the emptiness, and there you drop Om Shanti, yeah, at a regular interval with a pause, and then you start breathing, short and gentle breathing through the rib cage. Continue breathing short and gentle breath through both the nostrils into your rib cage. There is an expansion and contraction of the ribs. Body remain in the state of steadiness, and Om Shanti continues, and at an interval means you are aware of the pause. You, as if you are enjoying doing it. There is no objection. coming from any corner of the mind. Objection is coming, unripe banana. I gave an example in the beginning. Continue, continue. And stop this. Do nothing. Recognize and accept the changes taking place. Your mind should think in the way simple breathing can refresh myself and I get out of that sense of anxiety. It is because of the false I which was causing the anxiety can be falsified. So if that knowledge lives with you, that is going to change you. Simply the breathing is not going to change you. Understand, my friends? Now is the time to look inside again, inside the forehead. Om Shanti, body is steady and start the belly breathing. Remember, you already remember that the belly breathing means you inhale, the belly expands, you exhale, the belly squeezes. So you are that awareness takes stock of every movements, your breathing, your steadiness in the body, Om Shanti, and the expansion and the contraction of the belly during inhalation and exhalation. So that it expands your awareness. Continue, continue. We are already raising our level of endurance. Continue. Om Shanti, steadiness in the body. Om deep breathing into the belly. Continue. And stop this. Simply recognize, accept the changes that is taking place, and also the objections caused by the mind. The mind may say that you cannot do such for a longer period. I have to contemplate and reflect. How come and why? And now looking again inside the forehead, looking at a point, dropping the Om Shanti and doing the long and the hissing breath, both from the belly and the rib cage. You are aware that you're expanding the belly and the ribs during inhalation and squeezing them during exhalation. Continue. And stop this, recognize and accept the changes first thing, and recognize the objections. So the next time you do not have those objections, my friends. And now look at the flow of the breath. First, for a few seconds, look at the flow of the breath to the right nostril, then to the left, again to the right. Just Shift your awareness to the right and the left flow of the breath. Means left nostril flow, right nostril flow, and check it. Are they equal? If they are equal, then check the state of your mind. You are already into that state. And if the flow is not equal, if the flow is not equal, then what do you do? Where the flow of the breath is less or slow, pay attention to that flow of the nostril. You will find it returns. It gives you a different experience instantly. Why you are paying attention to the flow of that nostril, which has a less flow of the breath. So you are bringing the mind, conscious mind there. And the conscious mind changes the flow to change the state of the mind. Let us do it. It may look theory for you, but we will make it practical. We are going deeper and deeper. And now we will go to the triangle in the cave of the heart, moving the mind on the side of a triangle of any color, dropping Om Shanti clockwise and anti-clockwise, and waiting for a sync. If we feel the sync and the harmony, move the mind with the singing Om inside the triangle, reaching deep inside the cave of your heart at the center of the rib cage. Mind seemingly stops, you drop Shanti. When you find that sync, then you drop Shanti and you are already absorbed. Almost you are in a state of doing nothing. You see why I say this? In a state of doing nothing? A state of doing nothing means the false I. We are going deeper from today into the same meditation. The false I does not work. It is a sense of pure consciousness. That state, extended period of time is required. Why? You already know the answer. So almost when the self-absorption is there, we find the doer is totally dissolved into that state. And now is the time to drop the Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers as we understand without touching those points. Why? To help us consciously understand, objects merge into the senses and the senses merge into the mind. Again, we return to the same state. But it also gives rise to a variety of visions and colors and sensations. Again, pay attention. You're dropping Om Shanti casually but with awareness. You're not in a hurry. Check if the mind is in a hurry. It means what? That is what we discussed today. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. If you have any question, you have a freedom to ask those questions. I may fail and I may succeed. It's a different matter. How are you, Weber?
Thank you, sir. Sir, mind was calm, was absorbed completely.
Very good. Very, yeah, absorption we require in these steps. And at the same time, we also are mindful of those changes caused about likes and dislikes, if it is there or not during the practice of the meditation. So we know what are the objections. How are you, Stephen?
Good. Thank you. I always find your lessons to be simple and direct, and obviously the topic of endurance and applying past lessons. It was an opportunity for me while listening to the lesson to use the step back method and then apply endurance to all situations. And it actually set up my meditation to be extremely calm, um, very self-absorbed. I found the breathing to be effortless throughout. There are moments which I found myself not completing it, but picked it back up again. And then during the triangle, I got so self-absorbed that I know at some point I stopped, and I had noticed I was still focused in my heart center where the triangle was supposed to be, and it was like a cloud coverage. And as soon as I realized that I wasn't actually following around the triangle, it immediately dispersed, and the triangle was just glowing. And then that happened. That happened during the flow, checking the flow of the breath, as well as when I was doing the japa. So
Yeah,
it was interesting. So thank you.
that's a great sharing. First thing, that step back. We do not step back. We learn the lesson we understand now during our live session, and then we forget. Why we forget? Hammer your mind that why I forget, and you will discover it is the false I because of the likes and dislikes. And I am aware that likes and dislikes is going to cause me the problem, and still I continue. So it means I do not want to change. And then you complain to the beard guy, I received a couple of emails. No, I'm not changing. I know why I'm not changing. Second part is the self-absorption and glowing of a triangle is very good understanding. So I have to step back means, I go back and relook how I'm living. Did I change or not? Beautiful. Thank you, Stephen. And now we'll go to David and Jerry.
Good morning. Thank you. Really, really good lesson. And then it followed through into the meditation. But for me, it was very contemplative because the discussion about change. So I was contemplating, is my real self changing or is it consistent through my life?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I quickly realized, well, knowledge can change or affect it. So maybe it does change. So I was in that contemplative state through my entire meditation and had a very deep experience.
Beautiful. You see that never ever think that you can empty the mind from all the thoughts. That is the state of meditation. If that is the state of meditation, then sleep is the state of meditation. So if you continue with the contemplative state, one after the other, The mind passes through the different level of awareness. That is why you were enjoying. So that is also a state of meditation. I will open up in detail. Beautiful. Thank you. How are you, Jerry?
Sure, I'm good. Thank you. I enjoyed the lesson too, and I always like to apply the lesson to something that's, well, it just always seems to apply to something that's going on in life. So, and I'll try to be really quick, but here we have, we're in Vancouver and we haven't been in our home for 6 months because we had a really extreme mold issue. And so the lesson today for me was about living wisely and that choice. And
Yep.
so for us, the mold is something you don't see necessarily, but it could be very harmful mentally, physically to us, right? So living wisely, we had to take a lot of steps. And then in that process, after you do the remediation, you have to make sure it's complete. And so, but some people, because they can't see it, think it's done. And so they're okay with that. And then that related to the doubt and the ignorance that we have about consciousness. And if we don't get rid of that doubt and ignorance, then we don't really ever know consciousness. So
You're perfectly right, the mold, because if I do not become aware what is happening inside me in terms, then I can recognize the ignorance. How to recognize the ignorance? By breathing? No. By mantra? No. By understanding. By understanding. By understanding in a real life situation is a good opportunity. One of the masters says that every day, every situation is a big opportunity. There is a problem. Who recognizes your mind? Make it easy. It is difficult, then make it easy. But we don't make it easy. So that is where you are explaining. That's a beautiful way to put it. Thank you. How are you, Brandy?
I'm fine, thanks. The idea of endurance has been really useful for me lately as well. And I think it applies like what you were talking about with your air conditioning and Jerry with the mold. I mean, like there are these things that happen outside of us that that we can choose to endure and not get involved with. And that's super applicable for me all the time.
Was I pointing you about the chains of your home by giving a real example of AC? It sets up. There is no issue that I should focus on a particular problem. So I have to recognize that what is the problem today? Did I make that, is the problem I see it difficult? Yes. Did I make it easy? Life changes, life evolves. That is the process of evolution our masters are talking about. Beautiful. That's a beautiful, Rani. How are you, Terry?
I'm good. I was able to be calm and during the practice, and I had a lot of opportunity to practice endurance during the night.
Good.
It was quite a long night.
You're coming to a point, basic point. If you really understand the endurance, let the body do whatever it does. Endure it. Separate your mind from that body. So as you remain so still without any movement in spite of such a difficult problem in the body, if that state of the consciousness is maintained, your problem is gone.
Well,
That is
I didn't entirely succeed during the night, but I was able to succeed this morning.
Beautiful. You have started the journey. You have started the journey. Beautiful, my friend. Thank you. How are you, Dennis?
I'm good. I noticed during the meditation today that my mind entered a state where it didn't want to interpret the sensations. Like for example, I was hearing a sound, but the mind didn't want to classify it as a sound. It was just, it remained at the level of some sensation.
Just
It didn't
aware
want,
of some sensation.
did not want to continue the thought process of analyzing whether that was a sound, whether it was good or bad, disturbing or not disturbing. So that part of thinking kind of was cut out, and the mind just wanted to stay at a level where there's something outside and I don't care. That was something new that I noticed.
I just want to share. You have to pay attention to what he said. I just want to share an experience when I had another master with whom I lived for almost 3 months, day and night, 24 hours. So his name was UG Krishnamurti, who is also very famous, enlightened guy. Now he is no more. So it came to my mind that how your mind perceives the fan. It was a normal question. He said, my mind perceives the fan when I see it is moving is one thing, and the noise coming from the fan is totally different. My mind consciousness has separated the two. Can you imagine? You have such an intense awareness where you are able to live in the highest state of discernment and dispassion. And then he instantly said, it is coming from the same consciousness. False eye takes it is going into the ear, it is going to the eye. This is what he is talking about. Just think of it. Contemplate on it, reflect on it. I'm just giving you those bites of wisdom. Beautiful, thank you. Dennis, how are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very, very deep, sir. And every block of the finger became very big. While doing meditation, it became very big. Means it started expanding a lot. And Om Shanti was repeatedly going on its own.
That is good. That is wonderful. When all these sense organs merges into the mind expands. So when we see the fingers are expanding, basically it is an expansion of the mind. So every experience gives some idea and indication that yes, that is beautiful. Thank you, Samir. So we go to Ashok.
Sir, I am peace and calm. Good.
Peace and calm.
Yes, sir.
Your honey is talking to you?
She's talking to daughter.
Oh, she's talking to the daughter. Oh, you lost one tooth because of the accident?
Pardon?
You lost one tooth?
Yes, it is changed. Lower one is changed and upper one is to be changed.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Life is saved is much more important than teeth comes and goes. Oh, I don't hear you.
Right eyeball is troubling. It is not moving.
It's not. Oh, the doctor are taking care of you?
Yes, they are giving some exercise. So I can't drive at the moment.
No need to drive. Take rest.
Later on, yeah. Thank you.
Very good, Ashok. How are you, Sam?
Good. Today, Had a little bit of a physical challenge. I think I've had a piece of dust in my eye overnight and today. So when my eye was closed, I was feeling it a little bit. But once I got into the breathing and everything, you know, my eyes were tearing a little bit, but it felt easy and okay to do. It wasn't bothering me anymore. I separated myself
Good.
from the body a little bit. Good reminder. And yeah, that was it. It was great.
Yeah, good reminder. Yes, you have to remind yourself all the time, 24/7, to bring about a change in our life. That is all for today. Thank you very much. We will meet again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone. Namaste.
Okay.